Is Carmelo Anthony selling merch? What if I told you that almost $500,000 in donations, a lavish McMansion rental home, and a reduced bail just wasn't enough? Roll the clip.
And you know what it is. Tweet A, tapping in. Anybody who fuck with me, fuck with my music, you gotta fuck with Karmelo Anthony, man. Justice for my dog.
Just when you thought the Carmelo Anthony situation couldn't get any more outrageous, the family has taken exploitation to a whole new level. They're now selling merchandise. That's right, profiting off a deadly stabbing with branded t-shirts. We're gonna dive into this disgraceful money-making scheme and expose every last detail. For anyone who hasn't been following this case, Carmelo Anthony fatally stabbed Austin Metcalf in what some are saying is clear second-degree murder. Was it self-defense? Well, with the available facts today, it doesn't seem like it. But we'll have to see the rest of the evidence as it comes out. What's been most disturbing throughout this whole process is Carmelo's complete lack of emotion. Every single image shows that same stone-cold, dead-eyed stare. No remorse. Nothing that indicates he comprehends the gravity of taking another human life. But the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, folks. This emotionless attitude seems to run in the family. They're not mourning, they're not reflecting, they're celebrating. And now, they're monetizing this tragedy like it's a business opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, come on. You can't make this stuff up. They created an entire merchandising operation, all designed to glorify and monetize a tragedy. Let me play you this clip that's been circulating all over the internet where they proudly announce their new business venture.
With Karmelo Anthony, man. Justice for my dog. Website coming soon. You gotta tap in, man.
Are you kidding me? Justice for my dog? What justice is there to be had for the person who committed the deadly attack? This isn't a fashion brand launch. This is profiting off a homicide. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in my life. And don't give me that garbage about raising money for legal fees. That excuse might have held water for about 5 minutes before they exposed their true motives with their spending spree. Which brings me to my next point. You want to know where that $430,000+ in gifts and go donations is going? I'll tell you exactly where. Straight into a lavish lifestyle upgrade. The first thing, not the second, not the third. The first thing this family did after getting their hands on that cash was to move into a 3,300 square foot McMansion in an exclusive gated community. Not to mention private security as well. How many of you out there have private security? Oh wait, this isn't some modest upgrade for safety reasons. This is a full-blown luxury property in one of the most expensive zip codes in the area. But that wasn't enough. Oh no, they also needed a roll in style too, allegedly. The family allegedly just purchased a brand new white Cadillac Escalade with a price tag of over $150,000. Not a Toyota or a little Honda, not a sensible sedan, a top-of-the-line luxury SUV that most hardworking Americans could never afford in their lifetime. Some are refuting this claim, saying they bought that Escalade a few years ago. Maybe. Nonetheless, this mansion rental alone is outrageous. Here's a clip detailing why people are so upset.
Now, moving into a $900,000 house, what does your original house look like? Because if you're in a $10 million house and you move to a $900,000 house, that's not a big deal. If you got a Ferrari, you got a Rolls Royce, you got a Bentley in your front yard, and you bought a $150,000 Escalade, we ain't got nothing to talk about. But if the house you're renting is better and bigger than the house that you actually live in, if you then went and bought a $150,000 Escalade, which is nicer than the cars that you currently own, we got a problem. No, we don't have a problem. You got a problem. Because you essentially are showing the world that people of the melanin literally live in a perpetual grift.
The most sickening part, they're flaunting it. There's photos all over social media of the family posing like they just won the lottery. Hey, well, congrats on monetizing a homicide. Here's your prize of all these luxury goods. This isn't grief. This isn't a family trying to cope with a terrible situation. This is a celebration, a victory lap that spits on the grave of Austin Metcalf. It's truly one of the most ridiculous displays I've ever witnessed. And the parade of shamelessness continues. More photos keep surfacing of family members posing with Karmelo, all wearing those Free Melo shirts. In every single one of these posts, Karmelo has that same empty, soulless stare while everyone around him beams with pride. Now, what exactly are they proud of? That he took a human life? That he's managed to trigger a money machine for the family? The message this sends is crystal clear. Violence pays. Homicide can be your golden ticket if you play your cards right. Now, what makes this whole circus even more disturbing is the way the community has rallied behind Karmelo, turning him into some kind of hero. They're not just supporting a fair legal process, they're pedestalizing him for stabbing a white teenager. This has become a full-blown racial crusade, and the rhetoric online is nothing short of shocking. Look at this.
Teach your white kids to mind their business, keep their hands to themselves. You don't have a right to physically remove anybody, or you might lose your life.
Now, let's read that again. Quote, teach your white kids to mind their business, keep their hands to yourself. You don't have a right to physically remove nobody, or you might lose your life. Yawn emoji. Now read that comment and replace white kids with black kids and see how that would go over. Now, this isn't just about justice. This is about racial vengeance. The community isn't supporting Karmelo despite what he did. They're supporting him because of what he did. They're living vicariously through his violent act. It's a sick, twisted form of retribution that doesn't even try to hide its racial motivations. And mark my words, when that video evidence finally comes out and it confirms what witnesses have already stated, that this was not self-defense, that Karmelo deliberately escalated a petty dispute into a deadly encounter, everybody riding this vengeance train will be proven wrong. The social damage from all this race baiting, celebration of violence, will set race relations back decades. You can't glorify the killing of someone based on their race and not expect devastating consequences for society. The absolute hypocrisy in how this case is being handled by the justice system should infuriate every American who believes in equal application of the law. Karmelo's bail reduction is a joke when you compare it to similar cases, especially those involving defendants of different races. Do you remember Kyle Rittenhouse? That was a case of self-defense with video evidence showing him being attacked, and he was retreating. Yet his bail was set at $2 million and was never reduced despite overwhelming evidence supporting his claims. But Karmelo gets preferential treatment despite the mountain of evidence against him. And yet we're supposed to believe the justice system is systemically biased. Give me a break. The system is bending over backwards to accommodate this kid while his family cashes in and throws a party. Show me another defendant who gets this kind of kid gloves treatment after a brutal stabbing, a homicide. I'm willing to admit I could be wrong if that video evidence shows something radically different from what we're being told. I'll take that L. If that's what it comes down to, I will. But based on everything we know right now, the witness statements, the police reports, what he said to the police right after it happened, and the family's own disgusting behavior, this was like a clear case of a homicide being celebrated while the victim is forgotten. What we're witnessing here is nothing short of a moral bankruptcy on a large scale. From the fundraising, to the mansion, to the luxury SUVs, to the merchandise, each new development in this case reveals a family that sees their son's violent act not as a tragedy, but as a winning lottery ticket, a business opportunity, a cash machine. They're not just accepting donations anymore. They created a full-blown business model around this homicide. They're building a brand on the grave of Austin Metcalf. Let that sink in. This isn't just tasteless. This is evil. And the broader implications are horrifying. What message does this send to young people in that community? That violence can make you rich and famous? That killing someone of a different race might turn you into some type of hero and you can start selling merch with your name on it? That taking a life is a viable path to upgrading your lifestyle? The shameless exploitation and racial hatred on display in this case is truly in a league of its own. If we as a society continue to normalize and reward this kind of crazy behavior, I hate to see what this future looks like. And if you're just as disgusted as I am about this merchandise, make sure to hammer that like button and subscribe to stay updated as this case continues to unfold. I'll be covering every development. Thanks, and see you in the next one.